Hi guys, how you all doing? It's it's Saturday evening. It's nice and warm in here. It's cold outside. I've just come back from walking my lovely Chihuahua Max, and it was a bit colder than I expected it to be. I don't know why. Alexa, what's the time, please?
The time is 7:24 p.m.
So it's 7:24 in the evening. It's nice and dark outside. I'm here by myself, but I've got wonderful pets and they keep me busy and they keep me company, and I'm quite happy. There's Max there. Got two cats cuddling up together over there. Yeah, I think the little one's settling in. Harry, he's calmed down a bit now. He was tearing about the place this morning, but he's calmed down a bit. For lunch I had the prawn salad. Very nice it was too. The prawns were lush. And I just had a snack of ham sandwich, and I've had a couple of cups of coffee, and I've been sitting down playing Scrabble Go, and I've been watching the telly. I was watching, I think it was BBC One just now, about Buckingham Palace, going on about Queen Charlotte. So, you know, I'm getting older now and I don't really like going out at night, to be fair. I don't like the evening walk as much as I do the afternoon or the morning one, because it's a bit... Well, when I was taking Max out, I heard across the railway station, you know, the train announcers, the so-and-so train is not arriving on time due to trespassers on the railway. Trespassers on the railway. So I thought, oh my god. So just after, I was actually looking through eBay, looking at bits on eBay for Valentine's Day, and little bits and pieces like paraphernalia you can get cheap. Before I got ready to take Max out, I was looking in eBay, I was looking on Temu, because Temu is really, really dirt cheap, isn't it? For the stuff that you get, it's dirt cheap. And you know, it's quirky as well. I like little bits of unusual stuff. I'm into cats. I've got a cat t-shirt on the way, so I'll show you that when that arrives. The cat t-shirts, they're very quick now as well, because I ordered something Thursday and they've already like sent it off, so that's good. Got a few bits and pieces. They're cheap for the, I mean, I got a dog coat for a couple of quid. You know, anywhere else that would be quite expensive, and it's worth the wait. I just hope this time they send it to the right address. It was a courier, that was Royal Mail. Every's pretty damn good. So, looking forward to my cat t-shirts and the stuff that I'm going to do my bedroom out with. So we've got a cat carpet, and it's hard to see what the size is, but we'll see what the carpet's like. It's going to look, I want it to look nice, because I do eventually want to get out of this place into somewhere different and make a fresh start. But while in between that's happening, I'm going to sort that bedroom out and make it look nice, and maybe, who knows, a bit of lick of paint as well, because my favourite colours are pink and purple. So I'm looking forward to my bits coming next week or after. And yeah, it is Valentine's Day. I've also got an appointment with the dentist, which I'm not looking forward to, because I keep getting these random headaches, and the last thing I want is to get a headache in the dentist. So you just have to make sure you've got money for a taxi, to be fair. And then, you know, if I come across all funny, I can get a taxi home. I'll have to remember some taxi numbers. Yeah, I've got to get my eyes sorted out as well. That could be causing the migraines, straining my eyes. So I've got to get my glasses, which I lost them in the rubbish, I believe. I was cleaning some stuff out next door in the bedroom, and I went to get my glasses. They've completely gone. So get another pair of glasses. A lot of things changed. Snowball used to stay in there, the white cat. She's passed on, and now Harry is as daft as my Snowball was. So in my mind, Snowball is still alive because Harry acts just like my white cat used to do when she was a little kitten. So Snowball's never gone. So it's the evening. I took Max out, relatively quiet, people about obviously, walking dogs and whatnot, and I just walked around the block and it was freezing. So I just wanted to get back indoors, and I came back indoors, and here I am, guys. Trying to remain positive, be happy. I am happy by myself, and just to accept that. And I am trying to get things done, and I would at some point like to donate to a couple of charities. I want to donate a little bit of money to the MS, multiple sclerosis, because my sister died from it, and this is close to my heart. I never got to see my brother because he was killed before he was a couple of months old, and I don't know whether to donate to domestic violence charities like Refuge, or what do you know, I don't know, violence, NSPCC, something like that. And I want to do that, and I want to help in my own little way. I haven't got a lot myself. What I get, I receive from my mother, which is bits of money that my dad left behind when he died. So I want to give a little portion of that to some charities. I already give money to the Medway Maritime Hospital to help them, and there's another one, the birds, yeah, I like birds. I do like birds, you know, the feathered kind. I like birds. My dad used to see a robin outside his window. Mainly the year before he died, he kept seeing a robin redbreast, so I donate to the RSPB. As you get older, you realise how short life is, and I'm trying to make the most of every second, minute, and try not to get stressed out and agitated over things that just really aren't worth it. They aren't. Seriously, they're not getting worth hit up over. You're here 1 minute and you're gone the next. So it's not worth it, is it? It's just not worth it. Maybe I'm going soft in my old age, but it's just not worth it. I used to yell, shout, get all agitated, all over nothing. And then you lose people in your life. And, you know, it's not worth it. So I am going to make myself a nice hot cup of coffee, hot chocolate, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to relax. And I just wish people would understand that I'm a genuine person, and sometimes, yes, I would like company, but I don't want to be used and taken the piss out of, that's all. Yeah, I would like to have a chat, have a coffee with somebody, but if people are going to be stupid, then I'm just going to get on with my life and find things that I enjoy and make me happy, not miserable and angry. So guys, please have a great evening. Have a lovely Sunday as well. I'm going to see what's on the radio and I'll see you later. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
The coverage of the trial of Brianna Ghey's killers, and in particular the decision to release their names and mugshots yesterday, which are now inevitably all over both broadcast and print media. What do you think of that decision, and what consequences do you think potentially it has? 03456060973 is the number to call. You can text 84850, tweet at LBC. Before we return to that conversation though, I do want to take a look at what's happening in the Middle East. The United States have dropped more than 125 bombs on Iran's military and its allies in Iraq and Syria on yesterday, as it began retaliation for attacks on American troops. US bombers, some of which have flown across the Atlantic for the mission, hit more than 85 targets in Iraq and Syria, including sites held by the Quds Force of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's the first of a series of measures by the US to retaliate against Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria after more than 160 attacks on American forces in the last 3 months. Joe Biden has vowed to retaliate for the attacks against its soldiers, saying, "If you harm an American, we will respond." Well, I'm joined now by Harriet Alexander, who is a US news journalist based in New York. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Do you think that the US had any choice but to retaliate?
I don't think they did, really, Natasha. I think that once an American soldier is killed, that is a huge deal for a US president, and the public expects there to be some sort of reprisal. I think indeed the world expects that there will be some sort of reprisal. I mean, as you say, between October 7th and now, there have been more than 160 attacks on US targets in the Middle East, because there are still a lot of American soldiers based in Iraq and Syria and Jordan. Up until now, there have been no fatalities, but the fact that last weekend these 3 soldiers were killed, I think it left Joe Biden with little choice.
The experts have said that a Goldilocks approach is needed, because the US need to show strength but not escalate the situation. Do you think that they've got it right?
I think that's absolutely what they're trying to do here. It's very difficult, isn't it, of course, because you need to show that this is not acceptable, that you can't have your personnel killed like this, but at the same time you very much don't want to provoke an all-out war. We understood in the days leading up to this that Tehran, via intermediaries, was telling Washington that any strikes on their own soil would cross a red line and provoke reprisals. And that's, of course, what they don't want. They don't want this kind of constant spiral of tit-for-tat reprisals and strikes and attacks. So Biden gave the Iranians quite a bit of time, which I think was very deliberate. We knew these attacks were coming, but the Iranians certainly had time to move their key personnel and their key militia perhaps out of some of the areas. So I think it was a fairly balanced onslaught, designed to send a message, especially coming all the way from the US. It was sort of saying, this is what we can do, this is what we're capable of. They did it in less than half an hour, caused immense damage. So it was sort of, this is what we're capable of, don't push us anymore.
I know that the US will be desperately hoping that Iran will not respond to these attacks and that this will draw a line under everything. But if they did, What are the chances that the US will attack Iran directly, do you think?
Well, that's a very, very complicated question, and it's something that the US, of course, has been weighing up for decades. It's notable that this is an election year, so Joe Biden has that weighing on his mind, that he needs to seem strong, because, of course, the Republicans are very much more hawkish on this and saying that America can't just sit by and let this happen. At the same time, Donald Trump, of course, is saying Joe Biden has brought this upon himself by being weak, but it's worth noting that Donald Trump himself was given this menu of options for how to respond to similar type incidents, and he held back from attacking Iran as well. So attacks on Iran itself, my goodness, I mean, I think that would be a pretty significant escalation. I think the White House has a lot more options before then. They talk about cyber attacks. They talk about attacking Iranian ships in the Persian Gulf. And that's something that actually, Natasha, we could still see, because the US has been saying this is part of a wave of attacks. So don't think it's over. There might be more to come.
Harriet Alexander, thank you so much. US news journalist based in New York there, giving us an update on that story. I want to return now to what you make of the coverage around Brianna Ghey, her murder, but more specifically the trial of her killers. And I'm really interested in this notion of what the media can learn, how they can get it right next time. So if you have suggestions on that, 03456060973 is the number to call. Marlon has called from Ruislip. What would you like to say?
Oh, hi, Natasha. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. What would you like to say?
Yeah, so this is quite personal for me, because my best friend is trans, and she's what you call passing, so she's not, I would say, like, you wouldn't know if she's trans. Sorry.
No, it's, I know what you mean. It's, so you wouldn't necessarily know from looking.
Yeah. But she's very scared to usually like tell people that she's trans because of the backlash, or she doesn't want to get attacked or anything. So stand up, and sometimes when we do go out at night, we tend to say when we go out and we tend to look after each other. Always ask her if she's got her safely and not, because it's quite risky, because what the rest is. With the Prime Minister, they've always got to the top, and when you have people in power demonizing and dehumanizing, trans people, it can lead to this kind of killing. So it's very important that people with power, like the media as well, it's been very, I was reading an article that says that there's so many, so many pages where there's transphobic headlines on the cover. There's over 200, 500 stories where it's negative stories of trans people. So when you have that kind of media, and when you have the Prime Minister himself speaking the way he did in the conference earlier, last year, the Conservative conference, talking about trans people, then this is the outcome, unfortunately.
I agree with you. Thank you so much, Marlon, for your call, and please do give your friend all my love. And you talk about wanting her to get home safely. She's almost doubly vulnerable, because women walking home by themselves or getting home by themselves are vulnerable anyway. If anybody was to find out, perhaps through her social media profiles, that she is also trans, that intensifies her vulnerability. And that kind of ties in with this message from Caroline. It's the same with the widespread misogyny ingrained in society. It dehumanizes being female and increases hatred of and violence against women and girls. Caroline, I've talked about this before on air. There was a lecture I saw once that changed my life by Dr. Jean Kilbourne, who is the maker of a documentary called Killing Us Softly, where she talks about exactly this. And I'll be honest, before I went into that lecture, I didn't really understand the link between things like Lads Mags and Page 3 and the constant kind of chopping up of women's bodies and presenting them as things and bits of things, and violence against women and girls. And the way that she explained it and laid it out, it suddenly crystallized it for me, and I saw everything differently. And I think that's why I'm able to see now that with any group in society, that if you drip, whether it's through headlines or whether it's through words and imagery, whether you dehumanize them, present them as other and less than, that will inevitably, in some ways, lead to increased violence against that group of people. So I think you're right to draw that parallel there. I'm also interested in what we make of the releasing of the names of Brianna's killers and their mugshots, whether that's helpful or not. 03456060973 is the number to call. Beryl has called from Dagenham. What would you like to say?
When I'm walking down the road and I see the mugshot of them two, I feel good because I know that's who you are. Every single hardcore murderer should be released. From the age of, I would say, from the age of 10, because at the age of 10 you've got sense, you know what you're doing.
But what if in doing so they get a kind of cult celebrity and it inspires people to write to them and tell them that they want to do the same thing, which is unfortunately a reality for many incarcerated murderers. What about that?
That was stupid. I'm talking about sense of people with sense. I'm not talking about idiots who want to take silly revenge. When James Bulger was killed, I was working as a concierge. And I put his picture on the wall and whatever. And people were going to go at me, saying, oh, they were only kids. They were only kids. So who did I kill?
I mean, there is a reason, isn't there, that children are given protection and anonymity within the law, and whether we agree with it or not, that is the rule. But as has been pointed out, Brianna's killers will soon turn 18, at which point their information would be released to the public anyway. But even if they were young adults, even if they were over the age of 18, I just wonder what good it does to put them so prominently out there in the public sphere. Beryl, thank you for your call. If you have thoughts on this, the number to call is 03456060973, text 84.